Okay.
Welcome, welcome,
What's
welcome.
up? What's the
Hey,
vibe,
everybody.
y'all?
How you
Good af-
doing? What's
good
happening? What's
afternoon.
going on?
I see that.
All
I
that
see
good
that
stuff.
red light up. That light up. You know what I'm saying?
It
I'm
is.
assuming. I'm
We
assuming
are
Everybody
y'all.
on here.
definitely
Tune in for
live.
meetings.
Hey, hey, hey.
Because I got
So what's
tired.
up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Today's Thursday. We are excited to see you guys once again. I myself, of course, I'm Sean. I'm the PR outreach specialist here with Raymond with Crew. Um, yeah.
Oh, my God. Hey, y'all. It's Bryce. I'm the peer attention specialist at Ray. You know what
Oh,
I do.
that is
Ready to
good
get
stuff.
ready
Of
for
course, I'm
care.
Patrice. It's been a funny day, y'all.
Yeah,
Just
yes, y'all.
just roll with
Okay.
it.
We're trying to let y'all get in
Just
and tune
roll.
in anyway. Tune on
You know
in
what? Yeah, because Johnny always does say he's not gonna talk about nothing
until y'all tune in. Y'all know the vibes.
until
Come
y'all
on
tune
in.
in.
Everybody
So
bring
let's
it,
go
tap
ahead
in, tap in.
and talk about let's talk about our organizations while we're waiting for the people to come on in. Rashawn, go ahead.
What's goody, you guys? Y'all already know. I'm partnered with Crew. We are community resource empowerment and wellness. We provide services for people that are having issues with substance use, that need mental health counseling, anything dealing with peer support, anything of that area that you kind of just want to sit down and talk to somebody. And we specialize in harm reduction. So pretty much what that means is we want to meet you where you're at with your drug usage. We're not telling you to stop using. We're not telling you that you have to stop. We're not drug testing you in any way. We're pretty much working out a plan with you. If you're doing this drug or substance use recreational, we want to make sure that you at least, tuning it down to 3 days a week instead of doing it at 7, if that's what you've been doing.
Yeah,
I kind of just want to
yeah.
coach you through it and kind of just give you some advice with that. And I do free HIV and Hep C testing as well. So my number is provided up ahead. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to assist you with any of those questions. Okay.
Okay. Sickening. Now we also do focus groups for prep. So hold on.
Go ahead.
It don't want to act right.
I'm
Oops.
about to say it popped up.
I know. I'm the
Yep.
worst.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Join a virtual focus group. This is about prep. We do want to know what you think about prep, why it is that you are not on or that you are on prep.
Mhm.
Was it a group decision with you and your friends or your family? Was it a personal health situation? Are you in a relationship with somebody that's positive? We just want to ask you some questions. Let's talk about it.
Mhm.
You can shoot any of us an email in our inbox. You can give us a call. The numbers will be up towards the end of the broadcast. And, let's sit down and have a conversation. Of course, you will be compensated. Um,
Ooh,
we do like compensation.
I
Hello.
do.
Okay.
So that is always the thing.
Indeed.
And of course, we are the Rain Outreach Team coming at you live and in living color. All right. So today we're going to talk about something that I think everybody has issues with.
Yes.
Um, money, financial literacy,
Mm-hmm.
good credit.
Well, my credit score good.
Good.
Fair game.
But you're also very young. My credit
Yeah.
score was good when I was your age too.
Hello. Hello. Tell me.
I mean, everybody start off with that even, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
and
even stuff happens.
then you got student loans and credit cards you can't pay for and a couple cell
Mhm.
phone bills from way back in the day.
Listen. Oh my
I still
goodness.
got a Discover card from 1995.
No.
You better cut it out.
Okay.
Bitches.
You better cut it out.
Okay.
Oh, I cut it up. Get rid of it. Make it go away.
Okay.
So the first question that I want to ask you guys is, do you know what financial literacy means?
Mm-hmm.
I have a brief
Who's
idea,
that?
but I would love to know
Go
exactly
for
what
it. Let me hear what y'all think it is.
um
Tell me.
financial literacy. I guess more so just learning the literacy of learning how to balance out your finances or like money, um as far as setting a plan or a goal to accomplish something around money. If I guess that's how I took it. I don't
Right.
know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bryce?
I would say it's the tools that you learn to retain financial stability.
Okay.
Financial stability.
Yes. Okay.
That's the good. I mean, that's also true. That is
Because you can
also
have a
true.
lot of money and not have no
Really,
financial literacy either.
right.
True.
Which is why you see so many fucking football and basketball players broke after they leave the league
Right.
because they have no
Right.
financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And they got somebody else doing all their bills, using all their money, and they got shit, literally.
Literally.
So, yeah, those are some things that you definitely want to think about.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just had a picture pop up on my thing that was not okay.
Okay.
Not okay. Moving on. So, the actual definition for financial literacy is the ability to understand and properly apply financial management skills.
Got it.
Part of that is financial planning, managing your debt, calculating interest on your loans, and understanding exactly how that affects not only you, but also your credit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the best ways to start taking hold of that financial literacy piece is to learn how to budget. And budgeting is difficult to say the least.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is not easy because you have to have a good level of self-control.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have no self-control, a plan ain't gonna matter at all.
Mm-mm.
You're
I'm
gonna
the
be
one that
like,
struggles.
but
I
why
think
though?
I'm the one that struggles with self control.
You know what I do? I pay all my bills first, and I put money in my savings, and then I still end up touching my savings somehow.
See, I pay all my bills, but I don't never put anything in savings yet because I never get a
I
chance to
actually
really
put
do it.
money into my savings, but somehow, somewhere, I still be like, "Oh, let me pull $20 out into my check-ins. Let me
Hey
pull 50
Johnny,
into my check-ins." Hey, Johnny.
Hey,
So that's what I
how
end
you
up doing,
doing?
hey,
and it's a mess.
I'm doing good.
Johnny, welcome in. We're talking about financial literacy, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
start with talking about budgets and what do you feel about having a budget or sticking to a budget? He starts
Um,
rubbing his face.
so I'm actually on the other end of the spectrum. I budget very well. I have an Excel
Okay.
spreadsheet. I was taught by a person that I was dating a while ago, a couple of years ago, years ago. Showed me his Excel spreadsheet and how to manage his income, and expenses. And so I have literally lived by that throughout my life. I go
Oh,
to
that's
it and
awesome.
I adjust it based on
Right.
relationship
Right.
wise, things like that. So I'm really good about budgeting and really good about discipline.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
The earlier
I
that
kind
you
of
learn how to budget, the
yeah,
easier it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because
right,
it
right.
is something that is difficult to do. So when I like, so a lot of people are like, well, how would you start a budget if you wanted to do a budget? Do you know what's the correct percentage to put away and all that kind of stuff? So this is a really easy graph that I like to use when I first started. I'm not as good as Johnny. I hate spreadsheets, so I'll never use them. I just can't do it. But this is a good breakdown of what you should do. When you get paid, you should be looking at taking 50% of that check and putting it towards your needs. Needs being housing, cars, utilities, food, and insurance. Okay. 30% is going to be whatever the fuck you want to spend your money on. Okay. You want to go out to eat, you want to go to movies, you want to buy video games. That's that. 20% should always go in your savings account. Period. And
Periodic
just
table.
sometimes you can get savings that you can lock. You can lock up to 6 months or a year, and that won't let you touch it. For some people who don't have self-control, that works really well for them. But if you should have an emergency and you need to dip into that, then that's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So what do y'all think? You think those are reasonable goals?
I
I
would
just want to
definitely
give
say,
a
oh,
go
I
go
would
go go
say-
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, I would say first, I would try to get a big understanding of what my debt is at. How much debt am I in? Because if I'm achieving something like trying to go on vacation or trying to get a mortgage for a home, I want to see how much I'm in debt in first and see what's hindering me from achieving those things based and then what's affecting my credit score. So one thing that's really affected me personally is student loans, and then I had got some medical debt that I didn't take care of because one, I didn't have no insurance. So I was still in college. I didn't have no money. So I was like, so they went to collections, and yeah. Yeah.
Not collections, Lord.
Yes, it will affect your credit because once it hits your collections, it will drop your credit score like 45 points. So,
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And even when
I'm
you
gonna
get it taken back
And
off
I
your
also
credit
wanted
score,
to
you only gonna get half your points back. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
yes.
Johnny.
and
no,
then
and I was
also,
agreeing, and I do think that I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say to Bryce's thing as well, that even though a person can be very good at budgeting and be like, Patrice said it a good as well as far as discipline wise. A person can be very good at budgeting but still have like a bad credit score because of the things that they've done and things like that. Like there are people that still that credit won't be able to do anything but can budget very very well. So I do think that sometimes it's all, I do think it all fits up under the same category as regards to the financial literacy. But I do think that there's levels to that in regards to like
Yes,
like my credit score ain't the best, but I can budget my ass
you
off.
can budget. And I think that
Yeah,
sometimes people really learn how to budget after making those bad decisions and having
right,
going through uh, loans with 30% interest and college shit that everybody gets credit cards because they handing them out like candy in college. I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong as hell. Sean, what you think?
I was going to give a little brief story because this is it's still in the same lines of what we're talking about, but I was going to just start by saying some people, such as myself, the way that I grew up, money wasn't like we didn't discuss like saving money and stuff like that when I was growing up.
Yeah.
My family, we didn't have those talks. Even when it came to as far as me saving money or anything like that, we didn't have that because when I did get money when I was younger, it was a very quick spare the moment thing. So it was like, I have the money, I'm going to go ahead and spend it. Like I was young,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So even going through foster care and group homes, during that whole process, my foster parents did start telling me about budgeting and saving. Then I was on that allowance. Then they started giving me an allowance when I was in the group home. I was on the foster care. My bad. So at that point, and even with them starting me an allowance, they would take money out of my allowance and put it up and save it for me because I did not have self-control. If I had that money in my pocket, Sean was going to go spend it. Okay.
right.
So I'm a fast
like most
forward.
teenagers.
Right. I'm a fast forward to when I turned 18. I had got introduced to shopping with my friends and stuff. We was at the mall, and at that time they were like, when you go into a store, they're like, oh, you want to sign up for a credit card? This. I'm like, okay, I can get a credit card. At that time, not knowing about my credit, not being fully aware of none of that. Oh, Sean went and got a credit card at Express and went and balled out. I got everything I could possibly get. Okay. Later on down the line, I found out like that affected my credit because I didn't pay them people back.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So just trying. That's on the lines of what I'm trying to say. Pretty much, what I'm boiling to is now knowing all of that, and like Johnny said, it could be times now where you learn how to budget now, but your credit may be messed up because of things that you've done in your past. So sometimes it makes it a little harder to be able to budget because of certain areas that you have previously messed up in your life, and now you're trying to fix those along with keeping up with budgeting and also fixing credit at the same time.
Right. That is hard. Like for me growing up, I grew up watching my parents, even though they had, my mom was a teacher and my dad worked for the housing authority, we still didn't have a lot of money. So I used to watch them dodge bill collectors. That was their shit.
No shade.
When people called and be like, tell them we're not here. All right, that must be how this shit works. So that's what I did for a long time until you start to look at getting loans to go back to school, and that's when you start hearing about your credit score and stuff like that. And I worked at a bank is when I started really looking at my credit score, and it amazed me like, oh, everything you do is dictated by the scores. There are some jobs you can't get without a 700 credit score.
That's right.
And
that's so true. I think that it's so. I think that's crazy. But yes, that is so true. As a matter of fact, when I worked at Abbott, I worked in accounting at Abbott Exchange before I started working at Rain. And you had to have a percentage of a credit score of a certain level to actually be applied to work there as well. Oh, I'm sorry. When I was working at Abbott, you also had to have a percentage. I don't remember the percentage, but you had to have a credit score of a certain level for you to even work there as well.
Right.
Wow. That's mean.
Yeah, it's discriminatory.
So
credit is discriminatory. Patrice,
it is,
and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Bryce is in that age range. Let me know, Bryce. But you remember when I had cable bills when I was 9 years old. So I'm, what I'm saying.
I was getting ready to say that, Johnny. I was getting ready to say that.
I was already doomed.
Your parents
was
cable in your name.
That was in my name. Yes.
I had cable bills and stuff and light bills and stuff in my name when I was 9 years old.
Yes.
I mean, that's how we grew up.
I would have filed.
Yes.
I would have fought my parents.
Yeah. No, that's how we grew up.
I can't even. I mean, I know people that have done it, but I wasn't into that. I didn't get a part of that. Sorry.
No,
but they also, I mean, I
just watching my parents, just seeing them, writing out checks, seeing them refinance their stuff, watching my mom refinance her home, watching my dad refinance his car. So that's how I learned financial literacy. And then my dad, paying taxes for his business, paying taxes for his property. I watched that. And
I said, you've had a good example of that. For me, I had to teach myself when I was older, after I had fucked my shit up, working somewhere where I saw my credit score all the time. And
that makes
Black
sense.
people, we don't always have. We're so busy. Most families are so busy trying to survive that budgeting and saving money is never really an option. But I feel like today we have more Black people that are more middle class, and I think that they could budget. They just don't have. Most of them just don't want to budget. Even though we are the minority in this country, we spend more money buying shit than anybody else. If you go out here and buy you a pair of Gucci loafers, bitch, you could put $100 in your savings account.
Right. Agreed.
Say that.
And one thing that helped me out at a very early age with budgeting is that I think I ended up getting my first job at about 14 years old. And maybe 14, about 14, 15, I was working in a dance studio. And so, I already knew that I was going to move out sometime soon. But my grandmother will allow me to pay her rent, right? So I was already getting in that mindset of paying somebody's rent every single month. Well, my grandmother wasn't paying it; she was keeping that money for me, and that's how I paid. That's how I paid my deposit. That's how I got like my first car. A lot of that stuff I was able to get because she had saved that money for so long for me, and I was able to kind of get my first car. You can hear me?
Yeah.
I was able to get my first car
Nowadays,
and I was able to get my first car, my first apartment, things like that out of that money that I had saved from her. Well, and I did, and so so I was saying to say those are little examples as parents that we can do to our children, kind of
right.
get them in that mindset. Nowadays, yeah.
So to piggyback off of you, Johnny, I was kind of the same way. Like I was telling them my story. My first job was when I was 15, when I was in foster care. So basically, how my foster care parents taught me how to save money, and this is so crazy, y'all. And I'm just this is an example, but some people you still can do this to this day if you are any type of person like me. Okay, so I was into tennis shoes. And when I started working, my foster mama told me, okay, if you want those Jordans, you're gonna have to save money and you're gonna have to buy them shoes yourself. We not buying them, we not getting them, you save the money yourself. So then I started having this repetition thing when every time I got paid, I would put a certain amount of money up because I wanted my shoes. Not knowing at that time they really was
Right.
teaching me how to budget. Like if you really want something and you want to save money, this is what you gotta do. You gotta learn some type of,
Right.
accountability for what you're doing and what you're trying to do. So I would take money out every paycheck and put it up until a release date of a pair of Jordans that I want. And I would get my shoes. And it made me feel more proud of myself because I was like, well, wait, like I really did save this money. Although I did have stuff I wanted to do in between my friends going to the movies, they going out, they hanging out, they clubbing, they partying and stuff at that time. I'm like, okay, I want to do the same thing, but I want these shoes. So I got to sit still, put this money up and wait. So it kind of helped me learn how
God,
to
I
start
want these
saving money and
shoes.
budgeting a little bit in a sense. But that was just an example of like another thing that you could possibly do. Like just learn how to have self-control and learn how to sit down sometimes and really not spend money on unnecessary things that you don't need.
And I think
True.
Patrice said something earlier that I do think that we as Black people kind of don't really pay attention to until we start getting older. Like when it comes down to 401k, when it comes down to like our saving plan and things like that, like we really need to
Retirement
sit
is
our
real.
people down. We really need to sit our people down and really have a discussion about that stuff because I think the problem is like it goes over our heads in so many ways. I wish I understood that
Yes.
at 18 years old.
Yes.
I wish I understood that. And then on top of it, and then it's money that you really don't even miss because you don't see it. It comes out your account there, right then
Right.
and there. So you don't like
Before I even get a check.
Okay.
before I even get a check, But if but if you are knowledgeable and know that, I don't know. It's just like we have to really, really, really explain what the 401k and even when you switch in jobs, people don't even know enough to even call their 401k company
Transfer they shit. Yeah.
and transfer their stuff over. People don't have that knowledge either. Like, you have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
It's money that's
Yeah.
literally just sitting there and you're losing out on that you worked for and it's gone. You lost it.
Mm-hmm. I was one of
Yeah.
those.
When
I feel like he talking about me.
I didn't know anything about. You didn't transfer your 401k?
When I left Novant, I have not transferred my 401k but Johnny, we've been talking about it, me, Johnny, and Chelsea. So I'm getting everything wrapped up to get the information to do what I need to do. But I didn't know. I really did not know. I'm 31, y'all. So I'm not ashamed to say it. I did not know. I did not.
Well, I found out about stocks when I worked at Allstate because they sold us Allstate stock as an employee. You got so much stock, and then they had you could start your stock portfolio, and you could buy stock, take money out of your thing, and you could watch it trade, and you could change this around, and if you wanted high cost or something low, it just depends on how you wanted to play around with it. And I think the stock is fascinating, and I think a lot of people are afraid of that, but it's one of the good things that you can do to prepare yourself for like retirement and having other streams of money. If you can keep up with it, though, you have to be able to play with
Go ahead, China.
it. China,
I like that.
yeah,
China
that's
said,
really
I pay
good.
my kids in Monopoly money and charge them for everything. And I pay my oldest $7.25.
Sean, why are you breaking up like that?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
He ain't breaking up to me.
Yeah, he
I
ain't
can
bringing
hear
up over
fine.
here.
Oh, okay, it's just mine. Never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, and I pay my oldest $7.25, so he knows how to budget when he gets in the real world. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I've seen some I
Very
think me and
good.
Patrice seen something early. I mean a while ago, I think me and you was looking at it, Patrice, online where somebody and maybe you shared it. Oh.
Well, excuse us.
Right. But and I think Sean, you was there too. But you had somebody had pulled up. It was a family, and she also paid her kids Monopoly money. And then on Friday they have like a pantry, and they can like shop for like cookies and stuff like that they wanted.
Yes.
I thought that was very, very cute.
Yeah.
Who I remember? You know what? They stopped doing Exchange City. Y'all don't remember Exchange City? You probably too young for Exchange City. You remember it all?
Yes.
I remember that. That was my job. I was the newscaster.
Oh my God. I didn't think about that. That is crazy.
Yes. Patrice, was Exchange City around when you was in school? Exchange City?
No.
Exchange City?
No.
Okay.
What is that?
Or they may have called it. They may have so.
It's called
I don't know if they
Biztown
still
now.
do it anymore. It's been a while since I heard it.
It's called Biztown.
It's called Biztown now. But pretty much, it's a course. I think it's elementary. They do an elementary where like they take you to this building. The building got stores, and you are like required to work. So like they have like police officers, newscasters.
Oh, cool.
I was a newscaster.
It's somebody to work inside of the it was a whole city pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
So the kids got to work, and then they was able to earn money. They was able to go to the store and buy stuff with the money they earned. Like it was like very neat. And when I used to teach, summer camp. I wanted to take my kids there, but I couldn't ever find it anymore because I think they had stopped doing it after a while.
Okay.
It was a nice concept, very nice concept.
That does sound good. I think the more real world experience or information that people have, I'm always having mixed feelings about smaller kids with businesses because I have issues with children not being able to be children, but sometimes it is a good thing. I think it's a little bit about balance. But I don't think that we as a people really take financial literacy seriously. No. I think that we as a people, the only people that are looking at that kind of things are the so-called higher educated people. And I don't think that people think that normal people need it because they feel like they don't make enough money, but that's one of the reasons they need it the most.
Right.
It's hard. One of the things that I found out going through some of the information was that everybody's biggest thing is that what about that emergency that shows up and you don't have enough money in your savings account to cover it? That's when the shade really comes in.
Baby, hello. Thick shade.
So yeah, because that's always the big thing. I'm going through something like that now, so I completely understand.
Absolutely.
So it was interesting when I saw this quote, and I'm gonna read it to you. The best way to avoid emergencies is to be proactive and work preventively. This means keeping your health and wellness in check with regular checkups and exercise, keeping your car serviced and up to date. Stop putting off that oil change or the new brakes you need.
Yes, ma'am.
Staying on top of these things help to regulate pop-up surprises in your life and make it easier to handle when emergencies do happen.
Right.
It's that procrastination.
Oh, baby, yes.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I do think that you have to train yourself to build your own safety net that looks different from person to person. But things like that. I don't feel comfortable. I do not. I get very uneasy, very uncomfortable, and very nervous when my savings account drop below a certain amount.
Hello.
Like my butt start pulsating. Like I can't.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Y'all. Please come.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm
uncomfortable.
Like for me, my safety net is cash. I have a bank account and 2 savings accounts, but my safety net is a cash stash.
Yeah,
because you never know when the internet's going to go down and you can't get your shit.
No,
that's true too. That's true too. I always like to say, especially with people, and I'm gonna say that. I'm talking to the relationship people that are living with people, living with your boyfriends and girlfriends
Ooh.
out there. I'm gonna say, and
Separate accounts.
I'm gonna put it out there. A separate account, but also you
Period.
should always have at least a security deposit and a first month rent inside of your savings account at all times. Period.
Just in case
Period.
you
Yes.
got to grab the bug out
Period.
bag and bounce.
And you know what's the
Period.
crazy?
You
I
should
agree with
always
you with
have
the having
that.
the cash. But my only fear is where my house catch on fire. Like,
You put it in a fireproof safe, baby.
I'm done, y'all.
They make
No.
things
I'm
for
not.
that.
because I'll be outside like,
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm weak. I'm weak. I'm weak.
Regina,
I,
I'm not sure if that's
Mhm.
in all states or not. You have to look it up. It was
What?
just posted. She was asking about the Exchange City.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yes,
It was
But
ma'am.
another thing too is that have you guys heard about people getting taxed for having money in their savings?
Yes, you
Like
do
the
mhm.
pay a
IRS
percent.
knows.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with the way your bank account works is that you get so much interest, but some banks you have to keep a certain amount of money in your account, just like your
Mhm.
checking account. There's a service fee every year, so you're
Yes.
gonna
Yeah.
pay that service fee.
Like
And if
they
you have a
charge, like
retirement account or a 401k and you take money, you borrow money against that, oh, they getting ready to smack you in the fucking head.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
They
you
you
want
get
know,
40%.
fined for
Wells
that.
Fargo takes $5 out of my savings account every month. I get charged for a savings account.
Because you
Well,
don't
well,
have
Bank of
enough money in it.
I'm under 25, but
Yeah.
Bank of America, if you under 25, they don't take money. They don't charge you to have an account or a savings account. But once I turn 25, they're gonna start.
You better go get you a credit union account, my dude.
Mm,
Right.
Eric said, "Is there also a difference between a want and a need?"
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah. Your needs are
Most
your
definitely.
car, your house, the
your
shit that you
lights,
can't
your
live
water.
without.
You can't tell some people that with money though. Like they have a lot of money. They get that misconstrued between wants and need because
Yeah,
they
of
feel as
course.
though they whatever they want is a need.
Right. Because you have to realize most people's priorities are not on budgeting. They on
Mm-hmm.
looking fly, driving fly,
Mm-hmm.
turning
That
up.
that's black people problem now.
Unfortunately, today it is a
And
societal
also,
issue that we have.
and I also, one of the things that I also took on as well was looking at my whole life as a business. Everything about me is a business, right?
Say
So
that.
when I
Say
said it
that,
to say,
Tina.
I said it to say, like I'm
It's a
working.
brand.
I'm a brand. Period. I'm my own brand,
Not yes,
and I said it to
LLC.
say, and I said it to say, I'm working 40 hours of the week, clocking somebody else clock. The first thing before I pay anybody, before I pay due, before I pay water, before I pay anybody, I'm paying myself first. If you budget well, you can do that.
Mm.
So I'm paying myself first before anybody getting anything of mine.
Go ahead.
Then you start going into paying the things like that. That way, you already have your leisure money, but you have to know how to. You have to budget what you pay yourself first before you start budget. Before you're able to just kind of go out there and spurge. So there's a
Mm.
difference between me getting money in my hand and I'm just going out and I'm just buying everything,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to, oh, I know I'm getting paid this amount of money. Let me go ahead and actually pay myself $200 or $300, this week. The rest of this is going towards bills, but I have my spurge money. I have money to spurge on.
Right.
Things like that. So that is good budgeting. So as opposed to, so that way that when you are in the mall and you see them shoes that you want, you got $300 to play with.
Mm-hmm.
You got $200 to play with. Depending on your budget, you got $100 to play with,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
50,
Um,
30, 20. It's easy. It don't even matter what you make. You split your
That's
right,
shit
it.
up like that, it's done for you.
right,
Your
right, and
30% is your play money.
exactly, and also
Mm-hmm.
even calculate and know how to calculate and know how to really put in, like, gas is considered an expense. You have to put that
Yes.
stuff like that in it. Food is an expense. You got to put that stuff in it. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
really
Food that you
put
cook, not food that you go out to eat.
right, right. But but hold on. I'm gonna say, because Patrice, you did hit on the money. I agree with you. But for me,
I know you
because of
budget
who
for
I
that.
am,
Yeah, because you
I
don't cook.
budget
I
for
know
my
you budget.
because I don't cook. So I have to budget for my fast
Boy,
food
you
or
better
my
get the
restaurant
cooking.
things like that. But
He ain't with the, he's not with any of that.
at all.
nah,
At all.
I'd be too tired to have to cook. But but you really have to. I think that we really have to really brand. Like think of ourselves as our own business. Like if we're working and things like that, and we put in these hours and things like that. You know, people don't. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck and things like that. And while that may not
Exactly.
be, and while that may not be everybody's reality to be able to do that, if you're if you're budgeting, I promise you it'll get a lot better. I promise you your situation get a lot better because I
It's
think
gonna
what
be
happened is
hard in the
that
beginning, but it pays off
yes, it's
so
hard.
much.
Ooh, yes,
Like
it
Oh
it
do.
my
pays
god,
off so much.
it
Um,
does.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on. I got caught up.
I will say this
You was
too.
texting, baby. It's okay.
I will say this too. If you're someone like me too, who I did struggle, before with being able to budget. Of course, I am multi-talented, so I took some of my other gifts and used that as another line of income. I do hair, I color hair. I dance sometimes, or I take pictures and things of that sort. Photographers book me just to take pictures and things. So just to have another
What kind of
line of
pictures?
income, if you aren't able just to
That's none of
save
your
the budget
business.
and stop with the
That's none of your
shop,
business.
huh?
That's none of your business.
I mean, I'm a model.
No, he
What?
don't. Johnny said, "What type of pictures?" I said, That's none of your business.
Doing the most.
My
So
bills,
you know what
my
I
bills
mean?
get paid
And
at
see,
eight.
I'm the same way, Rashawn. Like I have my regular job and then I have my business, and I look at my business as my part-time job.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
don't get my ass up and go in there and handle what I need to handle, I'm not gonna get fucking paid
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Right,
my
Mm-hmm.
business and my money. If I don't
Mm-hmm.
do
right,
shit, I can't make no fucking money. And that
right,
was something that I had to learn over time. That it's not just when you feel like getting up and being bothered.
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
right.
Even when you hate, you don't feel like doing it sometimes. Woo, let me get up and do
Get
this. I
your
gotta make
ass
this
up
big
with
real
that
quick.
fucking hangover and
Yeah.
that tequila stomach. Just come on,
Yeah.
Right,
handle it.
right.
Okay.
You
But
know, and
what are some reasons that you could or could not follow a budget, maybe in the past or, maybe even now?
Ooh.
I was always playing catch up with my credit card because I'm like, oh, I got a credit card, so I'll buy this, and then I paid off. And then once I paid it, I was still having to use my credit card because I never let it rest. So I would pay it down, I had to keep using it, pay it down, I had to keep using it. That's why.
Okay, Johnny.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, but it's really hard for me to say this. So this is very vulnerable. But I was spoiled.
Me too.
I'm a trust fund kid. I'm spoiled and things like that. So I've never really had to really budget as kids wise and things
Yes.
like that. And the only reason why I started paying attention to budget and things like that is because I wanted to prove myself that I can do this without anybody. And that meant more to me than like that. Like I'm a man. I can get it out here and do it. Meant more to me than anything. But I was one of the reasons why in the beginning credit fucked up and things like that. I was spoiled and I used to getting something and living a lifestyle that I wanted to live. I was spoiled. And that's what kind of switched me out. Yeah.
That's how it was throughout college. Like my parents financially support me throughout college, so I would spend money, not worry about it, because I knew I was gonna get some more. So I was like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't live that life. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Teresa's broke. Teresa's family was broke. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I know a lot of people with money, but that was just not my story. And it's always been interesting to me to watch kids who grow up like that transition into adulthood. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it don't.
Right.
But it's all about the habits. And like Johnny said, he was determined to make that point of being able to make it on his own without somebody else giving him shit all the time. So you really do have to want to do it.
Yeah.
For me, kind of said something that kind of destructed me because that's kind of how I was. He put on the comments, in the past, I would try to keep up with my friend's lifestyle. That's why I couldn't budget before growing up. I did feel as though everything my friends were doing, and like I said before, when I was telling my story, they would be partying and they going out, they buying shoes and clothes and traveling. I felt like I needed to do that. I had money, and at that time, I didn't have no bills, really, to be completely honest. I really had free reign of money, so I really was spending it in like, okay, this is my money. I can do whatever I want to do with it. Not realizing, okay, when you get back home, baby, you don't spend all that money. How you gonna eat? Because you don't just spend all your
all your
how
coins.
how you gonna travel? How you gonna get what you got to go? Now you got to ask somebody for a ride because you don't spend all your money, and you. So yeah, before that was my problem, but now I'm literally able to just like sit my butt still. Like I know if I need something, I got to sit still and work towards getting it, and I can't keep spending money. Like got to cut back.
I'm not good with. I'll be fine with budgeting unless I have like 2 or 3 emergencies back to back. And then I kind of start panicking. Like I'll go through the savings and then I'll hit the checking account. And if there's more, I'll be like, okay, I get paid on such and such and so and so. So I can switch this around and switch that around. And then when I get that, I can switch that around, flip that, and then it's all wrong. It is all wrong. And then it's really hard to get out of that mindset. Well, when you do catch up, like going back to budgeting. Like that's always been the hardest part for me. Once I fall out of that routine, it's very difficult to get back in. I have to really like force that on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryce just like to shop.
And no, then people the only emergency I really had is when all 4 of my tires popped at one time. I had to buy 4 new tires. I was hurt.
4.
That's 4.
Baby, listen.
I mean, I've done that before. I saw somebody slash my tires, but you know,
you know.
You know, y'all are triggering me from our last talk.
I forgot all about that, Johnny. Ain't even front.
That unconditional love, baby.
Or you get an accident, you get that $1,000 ambulance bill, then you send it to your insurance, and your insurance comes back to you, be like, "Oh, but you still got to pay $275." You like, wait,
that motherfucking copay.
What? I got to pay how much? I said, you know what? I said, you know what? I died. Leave me alone.
Right.
I'm back.
Right.
I ain't got it for you. Leave me alone.
I just think that is one of the most weirdest thing to me is that I pay all this money out of my check for insurance.
Thank you. Whether that's I still have to pay some. I still got to pay out of pocket.
Whether that's car insurance, why am I paying why your deductible is still $100?
Exactly.
Yes.
My deductible is fucking $2,000 for the hospital, dude. I'm mad about it.
No. Wow. Like that's your car insurance, right?
No, the hospital medical.
No, my medical insurance, my hospital deductible.
Baby, listen.
Yeah, go ahead and take this IV out. I'll walk home.
There's no shame. I'm
Wait.
telling you now. What?
Go ahead and take this IV out.
Wait. Can y'all can't imagine having weed overdose, of edibles, and riding into the ambulance, riding in the ambulance. Ain't nothing wrong with your ass. You just high as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with you. You just high. To be charged for that visit.
Yes,
baby.
That's a good. Hold on, let me calculate. $3,656.75 right there.
Oh,
right there.
Oh,
nothing wrong with you. Matter of fact, they didn't even do nothing. They didn't even triage you. You just rode in the ambulance and went and got to the hospital.
Yep.
And went to sleep.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
They didn't even triage you.
Well, let's talk about when you crack the screen of that phone, and you got to pay
and it's $200 to fix your phone.
You got to pay that $200 deductible to get that thing fixed, and they tell us you got insurance on your phone. What is the insurance for? What am I paying for each month?
What am
if
I
still
paying
gotta
for?
pay
I still got
something
to
to
pay
get
out of
the
pocket
thing
to get my phone fixed.
fixed?
Right.
What you know how they stopped giving you a new phone every 2 or 3 years? Now you got to buy this shit. I'm over that.
Yeah,
Over it.
buying the phone is like buying the car.
Them
Yeah.
It is.
motherfuckers wanted a down payment of like $300.
For a phone.
Fuck you.
Oh.
You know what?
I'm
When
about
I
to
when I
finesse
bought
this
my
shit. I'm
phone,
finna,
I went right back. I went right back to my age because nah.
I just called Chad. My down payment was the taxes on it, so
I was like, how much would it be for an iPhone 11? They said you gotta pay $350 down, plus it's gonna be $65 a month added to your phone bill. I said no. Let me go back to the basics because
yeah, that's a lot.
Just give me the regular. Yeah, they playing.
They playing for a phone. I said
for a
no.
phone.
I said
And
I
the
That's
got
why
to
you
I
got
overdraft
got to make
forget
recurring payments on the phone.
Eric said
and the
also don't forget
overdraft.
the overdraft trap and auto pay trap. No
Oh
Right.
my!
shade.
Ooh. Now I
No
do like
shade.
auto pay, but I only use it for 2 things.
Oh
Baby, that
no!
overdraft, I live for she.
I overdrafted my savings account, so I don't have a problem.
But
Mm-mm.
I ain't gonna lie, it was
Okay,
I
so
was
your
banking
I
on
don't
the
care
overdraft.
how
government.
much money
Hold
I
on.
make.
I'm sorry,
Ain't nothing going on auto
Patrice.
pay.
Patrice,
Huh?
can you please confirm? Can you make sure that you explain that your overdraft pull from your savings
From my
account? Is that
savings
what you're saying?
account. So
Yeah.
whatever's
Okay.
in my savings account, if I overdraft my checking account, it will automatically come out of my savings account.
Yep.
And it only charges me $5.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that's how I get over that overdraft thing, because that $30 a draft. Oh, that fucked my Bank of America account smooth.
Yeah, and guess what? You only overdraft $2, and they charge you $35 for that
$35.
$2.
And don't
And
let
if
them
you
put
Period.
you
have
on something
auto
on
bills
automatic
coming out after that,
withdrawal.
you're getting a charge for every bill
Every
that gets
time
paid.
Every time.
every time.
Hit me
Yes.
with that
And then
35.
they act
I
like they
remember
don't
I
want
called
to
him
take it
once.
off.
Oh
Oh,
no. Oh no. As a matter of fact, I take it off for you one time as a one-time courtesy.
Yes.
But the next time this happens, you short.
That's
Is what the
it.
That's
bank will
it.
tell you.
that part.
How you?
So I don't
I'm not,
you know,
y'all.
every bank, huh?
Confession.
Go ahead.
How you ever bought something and act like it wasn't you?
I didn't authorize that payment.
I was like, what? That was not me.
No shade. No shade. No shade.
No shade.
Baby,
I
listen,
used to love. I thought it
Mhm.
was very shady, but I used to love seeing the memes when, like, I'm gonna, for an example, Pride in Atlanta come up, and then they be putting memes. Y'all gonna call y'all gonna be calling y'all banks come Monday morning, talking some y'all wasn't in Atlanta.
No shade. No shade. See, so every bank kind of works different, but I'm just gonna tell a little short story. I used to bank with Charlotte Metro Credit Union. So I started with them when I first started working at Novine Health. And the longer you have services with them, they keep upping your over. They allow you to, it's called auto pay. So pretty much they give you the money before you get paid. But they take it, they start you at 200, and then it keeps going up each year that you continue being a good customer. And I was with them for like 7+ years. So I can at least take, I think the biggest amount they allowed me to take out was almost like $800. Baby, it was during a desperate time. And I didn't know which way I was going. I didn't know which way I was flying. I went and overdrafted that card, and I ain't paid them people back. And she hit that credit. She hit that credit, and I didn't realize until my credit score dropped. I said, "Yeah, baby, let me go ahead and pay y'all back in increments because I already see what y'all got going on."
And that's one rule of thumb. And that's one rule of thumb.
Don't
The
do that,
worst
y'all.
thing, the worst thing that you can do is to let a bank account go
Overextend
into
yourself for
collection.
money.
Yes, don't do that, y'all.
Like to owe a bank will hit your
Woo!
credit harder than anything that you can imagine.
Oh my God!
Like
Tell me about it.
you
That
do not
Wells
want to
Fargo
do
credit card. Ooh,
no.
That derogatory mark is not going to be cute.
it's
At
not.
all.
What I was
Now,
about to
the
say? I
other
thought this was,
trap that a lot of people I think fall into is that rent to own shit. Look here.
I was going to toss my phone out the window.
Just rent your own furniture, washer and dryer.
Girl, where was to go? We'll bust up your crib and take your clothes out the dresser and take their
And
dresser
take
bag.
your dresser. Yes, they will repo your shit. They will run up in your crib. They will track you down in the next city you go to. I know because I used to do this shit. I'm telling you,
Right.
it ain't what you want. Y'all give these accounts and don't realize it's 24 and
Uh-huh.
30% interest that you paying. You done paid
Uh-huh.
shit the first 3 months. The rest of that year is strictly interest.
Tris. And Tris. And y'all like, yeah, so and don't get me wrong, because every time
There are times.
Value City, every time Value City have those little deals where you can pay something off within the first 90 days.
Hello?
Pay it off in the first 90 days.
90
Because if you
days.
don't,
That interest.
oh my gosh,
It's gonna eat you.
It eats you a lot. It's so crazy how much you spend.
You spend way more on the product with the interest than you do actually just if you would have just bought it straight out.
Yes.
We went to Aaron's and Gree wanted to get a TV. And I was like, okay, the price is whatever. That's cool. They gave me the paperwork and I was just reading over it because I'm one of those people that read everything. If I got to sign it, I need to read it.
Period.
I get to the motherfucking bottom of this shit with the total price. Bitch, it's a time and a half of the original price.
No.
Oh, you got
No.
No.
Bye, Felicia.
No.
Why?
Because they know that people that come in there are not financially literate.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Also, daggone spoiled. I was complaining that my interest on my car was 8%. The guy was like, "Man, you know how much the interest on my car is? My interest is 22%." I said, "Oh,
22%. 19. Rice, let me tell you something. You got it so good, my brother.
Right.
People
I told him
wish.
the same thing.
People wish they can get an
Wish.
8% in interest
Hello.
for a car loan.
Hello.
I told you when I first bought my car, it was 24%. I had to get it refinanced down to 10. And I'm all right with it.
I thank God there was this lady that I used to work for, and her name was Miss V, and whatever. And she was like one of like my first early mentors and things like that. I looked up to that woman and everything. But I had bought my second car and whatever, and I was working for her. I was her personal assistant and whatever. Okay. And so and I was trying to, like be self-efficient and whatever. So I went to one of these little side fucking, street dealers and whatever, and it didn't read nothing. I wanted me a Honda with the sunroof, leather seat, six disc CD changer in the inside. And that was it.
You need it all.
That's it. So I got the car and whatever, and I was going to work the next day. She was like, "Oh, you got your little car?" And it's like that. And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." She said, "Let me see your paperwork." And mind you, I work for her, so she not even, what I'm saying, this ain't even something that she's supposed to be doing and things like that. But because she cared enough, she was like, "Let me just see your paperwork." Let me tell you what this lady did. She looked at my paperwork. She looked at me. She said, "You're taking this car back, and I'm going with you." And I'm like, "Why?" She said, "They're charging you a 29% interest rate. No, you're taking this car back." They were charging me $200 and something every 2 weeks. So I end up paying $500. I'm paying like $500, $500 and something a month for this Honda. And it was like a 2003.
Oh no.
And yes. So we went back to the car lot, and she like literally drove with me, and she made me take that car back. And she threatened to call China 9 on them. How dare I take advantage of this young boy? But she went in because they were like trying not to give me my money back and whatever. Right. And she went off and what it could be, and she managed to get my money back and took me somewhere else and actually we got another car. But I thank God for her because like at the time I felt like I could afford that, but after a while I wouldn't have been able to afford that for real.
No shade. Yeah.
There's no way. And I think, and at that time, I was like maybe 19, 18, 19. So yeah.
No shade.
But
Marie,
those right. Those are little things that I was able to kind of get privy to at young ages because I had people like that to kind of show me different things.
Yeah.
But that would have been a killer for me, honestly and truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read Eric's comment. He said, "If it comes to collection accounts, do not make payments. That resets the 7-year clean mark. Pay settlement, but if you ask for a deletion letter to have that remark removed from your credit."
Yes.
That does. Can somebody explain that? Because some people with credit, like myself, when I first learned about this, I didn't understand what that
something
meant.
about this now. When you close an account, it hurts your credit now because it's not closing like as if you completed it. It's closing like, oh, we don't do business with you anymore.
Right.
So like when that account closed on my old card, it made my credit score go down 30% because it was not, I wasn't paying it on time and I wasn't making good payments. It seemed like as a, oh, we not doing business with you no more. But it didn't say because of a bad thing, because of a good thing. It's like you're supposed to pay me in installments and you paid it off, and that's not good.
Right.
Because the interest is still floating. So
Right.
even though you paid off that loan, that interest is still like floating in the air, and then make it seem like it's a derogatory. So you have to build yourself back up once you.
Because you're not giving them a reason. You're not making them any money if you're paying your credit card completely off every month.
Yep.
Which is what they're in it for. They're in it for the interest.
Yep.
Make no mistake.
Yep.
The only people that ain't in it for the interest is American Express, and they don't have no limits.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll come to your house too.
So that's why if you have like a medical bill, that's like $692. Don't pay that full $692. Pay it down in installments, and once you completely pay off that whole $692, make them send you a letter showing that that account is closed and that you paid off for it. So when they report to the credit bureau, you can show them that I paid this off. I made this many payments, and it's done.
Right.
Also, what he was also trying to say as well is that, say for instance, it's been 5 years and this account went into collections, right?
And you ain't made a payment yet.
And you ain't made a payment yet. Do not try to start making a payment because in 2 years it's going to be off your credit.
Yeah.
But if you call, even if you even try to call to even try to explain yourself, it opens it up and starts the 7-year again. So that's what Eric was also talking about as well.
Okay.
So if you don't have no intentions, it's 7 years.
2020, 2022, I'm free. I'm out of jail.
So if you don't have no intentions on paying it off in full, don't even try to mess with it. Don't do it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And see, I guess I was different. My hospital bills never really hit my credit like that. I think I had one.
That's a blessing. Yeah.
I think I had one emergency room visit that hit my credit. The rest of them never have.
You know what? So whenever I run my credit report, I see them, but they're not hitting as
they're not supposed to affect the credit score.
Yeah, some of them are, but there are a lot of them that are not. And I don't know what the difference is. I'm not sure about that.
The thing with me is that they're not affecting my score, but if I try to like apply for a loan or mortgage, they see them. And if you have medical debt, they can put a lien on your house.
Yeah.
So that's why they like, ooh, you got to get rid of that first. But my thing is,
I mean, when you get ready to buy a house, you got to wipe everything down.
Yeah, but if it's gonna roll off in like 2 years, they're gonna have to.
Y'all remember about 2 years ago? About 2 years ago, them letters went out from the court. It was from the doctor's office, but they was talking about they was gonna take you to court for not paying your medical bills. Y'all remember that about 2 years ago? Huh?
I do. I remember.
I looked at that girl shit.
The lady called me and got buck with me on the phone. She was like, "Yeah, why you not paying your medical debt?" I said, "Girl, I'm in college. I ain't got no money." She was like, "Well, those 2 years ago." I said, "Okay, bitch, I know it was fucking 2 years ago, and I ain't got the fucking money, and I still don't have the fucking money now, and I'm not gonna fucking pay." She was like, "Well, you need." I said, "No, you need to shut the fuck up." And I hung up the phone. The fuck? I'm not about to fight with you.
Go ahead, Bryce.
You're not about to fight with me. You asked me for my money. No. I said, no, I ain't got it. Leave me alone.
You owe me, ho.
No, are you serious right now? Like,
if I ain't got it, I ain't got it. I mean, I don't know what you want.
I know when I went to the hospital. I ain't got it.
If people had national health care, we wouldn't have hospital bills.
Thank you.
That's true.
Oh, trying to get buck with me. I said y'all could kiss it.
Okay, not with it.
But I think that's some. I think this is something that I would love everybody to benefit from, but also like the parents to kind of benefit from as it relates to your children. You know what I'm saying, like that.
Definitely
Like I do think that we have to start teaching our kids about financial literacy at a very young age and
early,
things like that,
early.
very early. Especially if we were talking about, especially in this movement of like the Black Lives Matter movement, all of
Mm-hmm.
that plays so much. It holds so much weight in regards to this movement because these are our future leaders, moving forward. So if they don't know financial stability, we're always going to allow ourselves to be held back and stay back because we're not interested in learning about stuff like that. That's why we can't get. I'm not gonna say that's why we can't get ahead, but that's something why there was something that was something that was purposely
Done.
done,
Purposely
right?
done.
And we are allowing ourselves to stay there.
Stay in it.
Right.
So we
Systematic
have
racism is something that's done, but you don't have to be a part of it.
Right.
you don't have to, right. So you have to, like learning and then starting an investment and investing and getting yourself, into all of that. Like we have to really get ourselves into it. It's not a game, you know what I'm saying? It ain't something, we have to really get ourselves into it and get invested to it if we want to continue to kind of move forward. And actually get that head start that we're looking for, because I want that head start. I want to have kids and I want them to be, I don't want them to have to worry about nothing,
None of that.
after I die. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I want that head start for them. But in order for them to do, in order for that to happen, I have to really, 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 really get my money right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that simple.
True.
That's on period.
It's that simple.
Period.
Johnny, you want to do our outro tonight, sir?
Oh yeah. What? No, I'm sorry. But I do think I've already summed it up, and I didn't mean to do that because this is Patrice's topic. But I have a takeover
It's
spirit.
good, though. I'm cool with it.
But I do think this was a awesome topic. I think that different you can apply in different ways and use it in different ways and take portions and places and things like that and apply it to your life, no matter where you at financially, and things like that. I'm not going to say that living paycheck to paycheck is something that you can easily get out of, because I know that it's hard.
Not easy. It's hard.
It's not easy. And I think Patrice, I'm sorry, I know we wrapping up, but it's something that you said that I thought was phenomenal, is when you start looking at those basketball stars or those rappers and those singers that go broke, and you be like, "Where all your money go?" Like that's
They went to flossing.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't tricking if you got it. Lies.
I also want to say too that a lot of celebrities are keeping with the Joneses too, because Tiger freaking he rented a house in his son's name, and now his son is $100,000 in debt because he didn't pay the rent. How you put
a child
a house in the 7-year-old's name,
and then not paying it,
and not paying it?
Right.
That's some Amber Rose shit.
But no, it was her best friend, baby daddy, who did it.
Well, that makes sense then. That's that bald-headed hoe shit.
Yeah. I think now the credit bureaus and the banks that are now doing those loans, stuff like that, are running people's age now. So now,
well, that's good.
It's I'm sure people can kind of slid through and get by, but I think now it's a lot harder for them to kind of get stuff like that in kids' name nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this was a good topic. I do think that it's something that we can revisit later on and kind of get in depth into talking about a lot of stuff like that. It was a nice overview. I do like that chart that you put up with the budgeting thing. It was lovely. I appreciate it a lot.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, what you about to say?
Just in case anybody wants to look up more information, you can go on Instagram, and there is an Instagram called the Finance Bar. Mm-hmm. And it's run by one of my Soras and Travis's mom, Marsha. And it's a really good program. It gives you really easy and simple tips that you can apply, and you just apply to your own budget. But it's also very motivating as well to kind of help you stay on track and why you're staying on track and why you're doing it in the first place. And I think
Right.
that's really helpful. Oh, okay, sorry. Go
Um, so we have a focus group that is coming up on Monday, at 3 o'clock. It is for ages 18 through 24. It is for Black MSM or Black same gender loving men. Um, for people who have been on prep before and are not taking it now, or have never tried prep before, this is for you. The conversation is not to get you to get prep. I don't want you to walk away thinking that you have to get prep and get on prep. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want to know what's hindering you from taking prep. I want to know what you think about prep. I want to know, what you how would you think your life would be different? What would be different about your life if you were on prep? And things like that. So those are conversations that me and you will be having. It's a group setting. It is virtual. It's going to be on Zoom. We're going to pay you for your time. So if you are interested, it is on Monday at 3 o'clock. Again, it's for ages 18 through 24, Black same gender loving men, Black gay men. So please join us. Be part of that conversation. We would love to have you.
Come on.
Shout out to CREW, our sister organization. CREW stands for Community Resources and Empowerment and Wellness. That is being that's been catapulted by Sean. I'm sorry. So pretty much what I do love about CREW is that CREW is not about trying to get you to stop using your drug right then and there. Hey, if you're using 7 days a week and you want to stop and say, "Oh, I want to use 5 days a week," we're going to applaud, we're going to clap, we're going to congratulate that. That is a milestone, and we appreciate that. So you're setting your own goals and we're moving at your pace about and things like that. I also like that they also take care of the mental health portion of that as well. So I'm not looking at just you using drugs, but how we get to this point, where we at now, things like that. And even that conversation is at your own pace. It's not a forced conversation and things like that. They want to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So just come out. If you want to know more information, contact Sean about that. Contact Sean about that, and he'll kind of get you in the right direction. And I also want to shout out to Uplift. So you all know that case management. Most of us are in the case management portion for people living with HIV, and we also have a case manager that is for people who are living without HIV, who are on PrEP. So those are our two kind of points of entry that we kind of case manage. However, if you're not interested in PrEP and you are not living with HIV and you still need case management, Uplift is the place for you. Uplift does intensive case management in the LGBT community. The LGBT community. So if you are a part of the LGBT community and you need help with housing and assistance, things like that, contact them. They're on Facebook. They'll be able to point you in the right direction and get you enrolled there. I also want to give a shout out to the outreach team. I'm gonna let them kind of get their stuff in here.
I was already putting up my camera real close, but what's good, everybody? Y'all already know it's your boy Sean. I am the peer outreach specialist here with Rain and with CREW. I specialize in harm reduction as it relates to substance use. So if you know anyone dealing with any substance use problems or addiction, please send them my way. Also, keep in mind that I'm also out here doing free HIV and Hep C testing. And if you need condoms and lube, hit me up as well. My number's below. I'm ready to work with you guys. Let's get this thing going. Okay.
I can't with you.
Oh, I did not mean to do that. There you go, Bryce.
Rebecca, 6 feet. Hey. My name is Bryce. I'm the parent specialist
He
at
muted.
Rain. So I specialize in getting those who've been out of care and I get them re-engaged into care. Also, if you're newly diagnosed, I get you into care with the 2 to 3
I can't hear
diagnosis. Them. You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Huh?
We can hear you.
Oh, don't. They play. Anyway, so yeah, if you're newly diagnosed, I'll get you under care within 2 to 3 weeks. I case manage you for a year. I'll hold your hand. I help you learn how to navigate your care. So if you need my assistance, you know the number right there. Thank you.
Oh,
And she always do this little cute little. You always do this little cute little laugh right before you about to come on.
that's my I'm nervous laugh. Don't judge me. My name is Patrice. I am the prep case manager at Rain. Y'all already know if you want to get on prep, if you don't have insurance, you don't have any money, that's fine. Call me. Come see me. I promise I will help you get that ball rolling and it will be okay. I can do case management as well. Right now, I'm helping 2 people get into school, 1 person get a name changed. You know, the possibilities are endless. But you can because you're just sitting there looking at me.
Come on out. Come on out.
That's on period.
And y'all know it's your boy Jay Fizzle out here, you know, making it rain on these
Yes,
hoes.
Jay Fizzle. Make it hot.
I just want to
Fizzle.
I just want to tell y'all, I just want to say one thing to y'all. Like, walk away with this tonight.
Oh my God.
Getting tested is sexy.
Oh.
I can't.
So go out there and get
Even.
tested, y'all.
Yes.
I promise you.
It's sexy, ain't it, Johnny?
Get
It's
tested.
sexy, yes.
It's very sexy.
Now go ahead and put up
Very
the Old
sexy.
Spice.
Not the Old Spice.
But that's all we got for you guys today. Thank y'all for joining us. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys have a nice one. We
See
out.
you
next week. Bye.
Bye.
Corny.
Bye.